Yes, people, it's that time. It's Derby weekend, North London Derby. Got a massive panel for you guys. As per usual, we don't disappoint. Today, we're going to be joined by lead judges himself, the AFTV legend, and just the legend in general. He's an absolute veteran of this game. I'm pretty sure you guys will be excited to see what he has to say. But not also, on top of that, got man like Jords coming on after the terrace. A few of them are on terrace right now. But on top of him, you got someone's a bit, you could say opposite ends. You got a man like Egal in the building with probably the most wicked name on YouTube alone, because his name's Achilles. That's the only reason I like that, because he's got my favorite hero of all time is Achilles. But who's going to have the Achilles heel in this North London derby? It's going to be a sensational game. And to be fair, I think this could either be set in stone if Arsenal go and win the league, or it might be their biggest blip. Home form, you know, it is what it is, how it is. Tottenham always win at that ground when it comes to Arsenal. But Arsenal this season just look like a different. I don't even want to say it, but they're just looking invincible. Like every time they turn a corner, in my eyes, it's just that we're going to say, oh, what about next game? Okay, the next game. I'm sorry, City fans, but you just don't look as good this season. Oh, sorry, just like that, we're back as well with today's sponsors, which will be, obviously, Terrace Colt. As you lot don't know, get to know. This is your casual football wear, good quality stuff. You can get your discount as well, 15% off, NAF15 on the checkout. Make sure you do that. I want to give you guys a little browse. Yesterday, if you saw the preview with the City lot, I showed you all the shorts and the bottoms. Today, you can see some of the hoodies and sweatwear. Just a little quick one. Look, free shipping for orders over £100. It's up to you. Look, some decent stuff here. It's actually worn by the likes of Tyson Fury, worn by the likes of many other boxers. It keeps growing, and if you don't get your stuff now, it's just going to get more expensive as time goes over. But honestly, if you guys want to support the channel, of course, just use a discount code no matter what. Be appreciated. And you know what? Someone else be very, very appreciative that isn't here, is of course, which is Daps. Here you could be rocking all the wear. Soon I'm going to be wearing it on shows as well, so you guys can see what you're going to wear. What you guys can preview what it is. But I'm going to get in the panel at the moment. A few are going to be running a little bit late, so just for you guys to see, I'm going to introduce the first one. Well, I think it's respectively should go to the home team first. Again, Jords Killer with the most wicked name in the YouTube game. You know, he's a very good friend of mine, I would like to say now. You know, you might see him sometimes do little things here and there for other YouTubers, but you see him on Coppish, 80,000 odd subscribers, I think, George, as well, something like that. Let's get in there, on the road to 100,000. Just make sure you go subscribe. Look, you can see his name in the channel, in the link, hyperlink in the description. I've color-coded it. You can literally spot him out from the rest, don't you worry. But hopefully it's not red. But George, he's in the building now. You guys can see him in the top left corner fighting for the Lily Whites. How are you, my friend?
Well, I'm very good, thank you. I'm buzzing to get into this because it's going to be probably one of the biggest games of the season. I'm excited.
I saw someone, you know, I heard someone in the background there. You know, I wonder who it might be, talking about the retro shirt. Does it really have any great history towards it? Fighting in a red corner. He isn't late, you know, unlike some others who want to stay on Football Terrace for that little bit longer. Big up the Terrace stop, big up Terry as well. But you know, he's gonna come here. He's gonna come firing. As I said, AFTV legend as well. Man, like lead judges on the way. I'm not gonna say 40k. I'm gonna say 50k. You know, the man himself is taking his time out your day for just to give the Lily Whites a punch with a red fist.
Always happy to do that. I'll tell you that. Thanks for that intro. Very nice. Very nice.
Always. I never fail give the best intros. When I say never fail, I mean me. So, you know what?
Your defense is in trouble.
Can you hear that?
Yep.
We're gonna do it.
Never mind.
It is D-Day today.
Anyways, guys, just a little things. I've got a keyboard. Have you guys noticed? Anyways, I'm gonna get on with this before Jess joins in with Egal and George. You know what's gonna be with them three. It's gonna get rowdy. George, might as well go to you first. How are we
Hit me.
feeling for the weekend Sunday? Man, you must be pretty more confident than before because Palace 4-0. I think you beat Portsmouth as well. Harry Kane's had a few goals on top of his belt. It must be pointing in all the right directions for now. And also, Kulusevski apparently is back.
Yeah, look, I can't lie. Obviously, like, Arsenal have been unbelievable this season. You just got to admit there's a reason why they're at the top of the table. So I'm not like as confident as I have been in previous seasons, obvious reasons. But to be honest with you, when it's a home derby, we always tend to turn up. And Kane firing, a lot of fans talking smack, saying after his penalty miss in the World Cup, he's going to fall apart. But he's got the mentality in the league, man. He just keeps going back with goals. We all know he loves to score against Arsenal, especially at home. So I'm confident on that front. And Kulusevski, like you said, is massive, massive. Because, if I can remember correctly, I think it was something like the 8 games that he did play, we never lost. And when he did play, he was missing for 8 games, we didn't win a single game. And I think we lost 4 of them. So, yeah, it's been a torrid time without him. So glad to have him back. And rumours as well, Bentancur and Richarlison should hopefully be fit for the squad. So,
Bentancur?
Yeah. Apparently, they both trained today. Apparently, so I doubt they'll start. But them being involved in the squad is a big boost for us for sure.
Oh wow, Lee, he said all those names. Do any of them really scare you?
No. Listen, yeah, I mean, like it's the old ginger Swede. Well, he must be like the way Tottenham go on about it. I think he's a Maradona and Messi in disguise. You know what I mean?
He's Iron Robin Messi combo. The best.
Good player he is. Even Spurs fans think that he's better than Saka. So that just shows you
Oh my
how
word.
deluded they are. But no, he's a good player. Of course, Tottenham have got they've got players that can hurt you. And Kulusevski is one of them. Obviously, like Kane, it goes without saying. And I even though he's been criticised a lot this season, you got to worry about Song at some stage. He can't continually be as bad as he is. You know what I mean? So they've got players that can hurt you, particularly on the counter attack. And I think that's where Tottenham will go on Sunday. I think that they're sitting a little bit like they have done in the previous games, but they're a very, very good counter-attacking side. And when I think that other games, probably like the Spurs fans would like them to attack a little bit more, I think on this occasion they'd be quite happy to sit back and try and hit us on the break. And so we've got to be worried of that. We've definitely got to be wary of that.
100%, man. It's just I don't have too much pretty things to say about your club, George. Right, Spurs.
Why am I not surprised?
I have to be I think today I have to be as least biased as I can, as a host, respectfully. But I don't do things that way. I'm gonna call it for it is. I think you lot are pretenders, right?
Okay.
I said it yesterday on Coppish. There's no point hiding it. But if there's anyone that's gonna stop making you boys pretenders, right? It's got to be Conte. Something's got to kick at some point. I just refuse to believe that this manager is going to let this downward spiral happen for too long without something changes. Tottenham's had some bad luck, I would like to say, along the lines as well. Injuries, but everyone's had injuries, so you can't really use that excuse. Do you get what I mean?
Not a major excuse.
Conte don't put himself in the best light either, because at some points he's talking a little bit positive, but then he calls Tottenham in third person, like he's not a part of Tottenham. Does that kind of like worry you a little bit in terms of like the long-term future of this manager? Because I don't get this whole if Conte leaves, then it's the end. Like it's the end of Spurs. Like you lot ain't been in the end since 60 years ago, since you last won a proper trophy. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. No, good to get that one in there. No, to be honest with you, I'm definitely more of an optimistic Spurs fan than most. And for me, I feel like Conte is an unbelievable manager if you give him the right tools. And there was a lot of speculation when he first joined, like, is this the right setup? Because we all know Spurs don't really like to spend money, or at least not spend the money in the right way. And when Conte plays a really specific system, you just sort of need to get the players he wants. And now I would argue for the most part that hasn't happened yet. At the beginning of the summer window, I thought we were doing that. Perisic straight in. Basuma, I thought was a quality player, another one straight in. Yeah. And then we just stopped completely. We did not address centre-back issue. We did not address the right wing-back issue. And these are very, very, very important for a Conte side. So I think it's one of them ones where I personally am happy to give him time. as long as the club are actually active and get the players that he wants in. If we're then just going to keep on settling for second best like we have done in the past, it's not going to end up pretty. But I've got faith that we will.
Well, before we do that, one thing I haven't done yet is like big up to everyone that's in here, but please do make sure you check out League Judges and Jords, Egal, and Jess's link, their YouTubes, their socials, it's all there. You can see it underneath their boxes as well on the screen at the moment. So I'm going to big up some of the guys in the comments. I usually do that first, but I thought I wanted to get the show kicked off straight away. So big up some of you guys in the building. I'm going to go through some of your comments now before I get anybody else in. Big up Monts LFC. I know that's you, Ty in disguise. I know that is you in disguise. You need to come out at some point, man. Come out of the closet. Ed, can't wait to hear Spurs and Arsenal fans' delusions next 30 minutes. It is what it is. Arsenal fans going to be who they're going to be. You know, I don't know about Lee too tough. This is the first time of him being on Never a Foul, so big up himself. George, on the other hand, I can't really say a bad word. It's hard to break this, man. Honestly, there's levels to this. Big up Daniel, big up Ilias, big up Noz in the building. Hoorad, up the Gunners. Says fire panel, come on you Gunners. Jarvis is in the building. Been a long time, my friend. A very long time. Hope you're doing well. And Kieran B and Wayne, I see you as well, my guys. But I'm going to introduce the next panelist. Sorry, George, it's not the one that you was thinking about. It's the guy who comes, he's always over Twitter. I believe, Lee, you've done some content with him as well. He's a very good friend of mine. Yes, he comes out with some delusional stuff, but at the end of the day, he loves his club. You know, he loves his manager. And at the moment, he currently loves his team, and rightfully so. So big up a gal in the building. How you doing? Look at you. You look fresh. Are you going to the game tomorrow?
No? I'm just chilling, man. I'm just chilling. Just came back from vacation, relaxing, you know.
Oh yeah, where'd you
go? Malta. It was nice.
Okay, a nice little chilled one there before you go to Spurs and maybe get a whooping, maybe not. I know.
Stop. Nice to see you, George. Always.
Nice to see you, man.
We always tend to meet up before these derbies, but you know what? It is what it is. I don't think you're one of the delusion Tottenham fans like some of these guys.
No, I'm definitely more level-headed than most. I could say that for a fact.
And Lee, nice to see you, man. How you been?
I'm good, thank you. Good.
Good, man. Friggin', we're gonna get Mudryk. We got a lot of things going our way, man.
Yeah, that's looking like we're gonna get that over the line over the next day or so. It looks like that's done. So that's a start. It's a start. It's a start. You know.
Come on, you're not on the title, right? You're not on the title hype yet, or you're still just.
No, listen. I'm going to be really honest. I think these next two games will decide whether we're in the title race or not. If we win them. I'll say it now. I think if we beat Tottenham and we beat Man United, I think that we've got a very, very good chance of winning it. Like, you know, and I then will believe. I will believe. You know what I mean?
So what? You lot are not even confident that you're gonna get? You ain't going over the line yet. No, wait, a gal. I know you said to Daps, by the way. So don't think I haven't forgot. And you have been consistent with this all along. And this is not me getting onto you or about to expose you about anything. You did say something along the lines, if Arsenal stay top in January, then they're gonna win the league. Like that. That was your words, was it not?
Bro, I think we're winning it.
There's no hiding. I didn't get them early. Got the raffle ticket.
Straight up. Listen, to me, at this point, it's just I see City dropping more points than us simply because they're not consistent. We are at a level right now where we're as consistent as them. And when you look at the fixtures, we both have a level of equal toughness in our fixtures, but they have the Champions League, plus they have other cup games that they've had to worry about. They luckily just lost against Southampton, and you've seen the performance they had against Southampton. I think anyone should be looking at Man City this season as a game where they can get points, especially some of the teams lower down the table, because this Man City team just doesn't seem as hungry. Where Arsenal, we haven't won the league in 19 years? This team is young, very enthusiastic. The manager wants it, the players want it, the fans want it. Everyone's fighting in the same way, and I just don't see the same level of hunger from that Man City team. So that's why everyone should be confident from the Arsenal perspective.
You know what? I'm a little bit hungry as well. Like, guys, there's like 70 of you in here. It's growing. I know some people are late. I get there's a few other big channels on at the moment, but doesn't mean you can't like the video either. Come on, man. What are you guys? Are you supposed to be part of Never a Foul? What is this? What kind of channel do you think this is? Where's the respect for the panel, man? Giving up their time. You know, I've got to shoot off to Manchester in about an hour. So, but yeah, Lee, it's exciting times. It's been a long time.
Yeah, do you know what? That's a great point there. You know, I do think that Man City have maybe lost a bit of hunger, or they've been beating Liverpool up over the last couple of years, and maybe it's taken its toll a little bit. Where I think it took its toll on Liverpool definitely, and maybe it's taken its little bit of a toll on Man City, and like all of a sudden this young, hungry new kid on the block's come along, and that happens to be Arsenal. So it's good timing, but there's still a long, long way to go yet. I know we're in January, but it's not really January.
It's more like Christmas come early already.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
it's sort
End
of
of
round about
November, beginning
December now,
December.
like, you know. So, but in saying that, we've got a very, very good chance, and I think that the next two games for all of the teams that are involved in it at this moment in time, Newcastle as well, because I'm not writing them off at the moment. But you've still got to worry about Man City because they've been there and done it. So I'm not taking them. But Man City have got a very, very difficult game tomorrow against Man United. That's not easy. And then Arsenal have got Man United next week. So if Arsenal were to get 6 points from these next two games, then, you know, I think that we're. I think then that the good thing is if we beat Spurs on Sunday and then we beat Man United, I think virtually top four is done. We look like we can get in that, and then we can then say, right, okay, this really go for it then, like, you know. So I think it's massive.
How many points you boys on? 40 or more? I can't remember in the table. How many points have Arsenal got?
I think we're on 44. I think
So
44.
technically, already half the season you've avoided relegation. That's the point tally. That's first and foremost, right? George, your team. You didn't. I'm gonna shamelessly say again, yeah. End of the year, Man United were in that top four. You wasn't, rightfully so. You lot have been having bad performance after bad performance. No point talking about that. But what are your actual realistic thoughts on? You know, that's actually something we didn't talk about Coppish yesterday. What are your actual realistic thoughts on Tottenham with the whole top four? Do you reckon you're gonna get in there, or do you reckon it might be just not like Chelsea? Let's get real. Chelsea are bad. You're not that bad, but do you reckon you're gonna sneak in there?
No, I think top four is definitely on the card still. I mean, come on, if you like you said, Chelsea currently in the mud, look like they're declining even further, despite spending like 500 mil. Liverpool, I don't know what is going on with Liverpool at the moment. I just think they've got too many injuries. They're suffering a bit from the hangover of trying to go for the quadruple last year, failing in that as well. So I think it's basically between us, United, and Newcastle to sort of finish off that top four.
Yeah.
I think the league's way out the question. Way out the question. They shouldn't have even thought like that. But yeah, man, I'm actually, to be honest, I'm pretty confident because we're still in and around it, very close in and around the top four by playing poorly. Like, we're still been able to grind the results. And I do honestly believe if we do manage to make those 1 or 2 signings exactly like we did last year, Kulusevski, deadline day, came straight in and we went on an incredible run for the rest of the season. If we can actually finally switch our gears on and have a good second half of the season, then I think top four is an absolute must.
You say about the gears, like, I don't personally believe in. I don't even think you believe in what you're saying right now. Not with no signings coming through. Like, I'm not being funny. How can a team?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if we get something done by the end of January, we have to.
Like,
Well, first of all, we have to get the wing back sorted. Pedro Porro is obviously our number one target. If we can get that sorted,
don't go Chelsea. I heard Joao Felix is misses, bro. That's Chelsea, battle, isn't it?
Yeah, Chelsea trying to sign everyone's nan at the moment, so they're going to be linked with everyone. So we don't have to worry about that. We have to get that over the line. And to be honest, like, I would love another actual good level centre back, but to get a top level centre back in January is next to near impossible. So probably another forward to help combat some of these injuries that we've been getting. And I think we've got a good chance.
Well, Lee, do you believe in anything he just said there, or do you actually think it's like, you know what, he's got a good point? Tottenham are sewn on for that.
Listen, Tottenham yeah, I think they're still very, very much in it because their next 2 games are massive as well. They've got, you know, Arsenal. If they beat Arsenal, it's a massive boost.
Got City twice as well this month.
Got City, you know. So, but at the end of the day, if they lose to Arsenal and then they lose to City, it's going to be very, very difficult. And I think that there's, you know, I've obviously got Spurs family and mates and things like that. They're very, very much at this moment on the wobble. Whether what way to go, and you know, like, they could lose it. So, you know, if Arsenal were to go to Spurs and give them a good hiding, then that would be a meltdown. So, but in saying that, you know, they're 3 points off a top four, and quite rightly, you know, they're not playing well, but they're still up there. And so you know, but I think what a lot of Spurs fans have been saying is, since the first game of the season, when we start hitting our form, you know, well, they haven't hit form at all. Like, you know, they've been poor on many occasions. I had Spurs family round here for the Brentford game, the boxing, you know, but oh my God, you know, they was so poor in that first half. It was unreal. then all of a sudden the shackles get taken off and they should probably go and win that game, you know. So you just don't know what you're going to get with Spurs. And I honestly think, and you know, I think there's such a desperation for Spurs to win a trophy that they're prepared to let Conte get away with a lot of stuff at this moment in time. You know, I kind of love it that he slags off Spurs, you know, when he loses a game and says what a mediocre club they are and everything like that. And all the Spurs fans agree with him. And
To be honest with you, I do. I'm glad he is. We've had too many yes men at the moment. So.
Yeah, and and it seems to me like then they win a game and everything's all right. So, I think at the end of the day, you know, they go on. He's a serial winner. He's done this and done that, and they blame everybody else but him. You know, but he was in charge at Middlesbrough last season when they got knocked out of the cup. You know, they got knocked out of the cup to Nottingham Forest this season. You know, if you look at it now, for the desperation for a cup with Manchester City going out, they'd be kicking themselves. They've got a good chance of the FA Cup because it's the luck of the draw, and they've got a nice draw in that. So. Listen, Spurs are still very, very much in it. And that's why I think it's so important Sunday, that Arsenal go and win that game. Because I think it would take us away from Tottenham as far as the top four is concerned. And also, you know, then what do Tottenham fans do when they go to Man City? Do they want to beat Man City? You know what I mean? Or do they want to lose to them? Like, you know what I mean? That's the thing, you know. And listen, we've been there before. We've been there before over the last few years when games don't really matter so much, and it's tough. But, you know, at this moment, this is the North London derby, and it's got so much riding on it.
It's like it's the biggest weekend of the Premier League, isn't it? Like,
it feels like it.
You know what I mean?
Massive.
It can swing either way, both ways.
It can go
Swing either way, both ways. It can be a real shot in the arm for Tottenham. You know, like I look at it, Tottenham have not been great over the last few weeks, but to beat Arsenal would cover up a thousand sins. You got the Man United Man City game, which I'm going to be really honest, like 4 or 5 weeks ago, you would say that Manchester City would go there and win comfortably or win that game. I felt they struggled against Chelsea, and look how poor Chelsea are.
They're bad. They're super bad.
They are poor. So,
Manchester
United will be looking at this and saying to themselves, well, you know, if we can turn Manchester City over tomorrow on Saturday, we've got a great chance. I think it's a fascinating weekend. And I think
so
that
as well.
whoever wins these games,
I was going to say, where's George?
Oh,
George is gone. Look, I was just going to say this. I think what you said right there, the way that we start games, don't you think the way that Tottenham tend to start games is quite slow and Arsenal tend to start games quite quick? If we get an early lead against them, do you think they'll be even able to go toe-to-toe with us? Because I know they're at home and they usually turn it on in the second half of games.
That is a great point. It's a great point. I look at the first game at home, you know, that's what happened. We went 1-0 up, and then Tottenham had that little spell when they come back at us and everything like that. And then second half, we blew them away. I think if Spurs start slowly like they have done in the last few games, and even, you know, let's get this right. You know, Crystal Palace, they wasn't great in the first half until they scored. You know,
I'd say the first 20 minutes we definitely were much much better than we have been, then we just completely stepped off the gas for the final half of it.
You know, so if they do that against Arsenal, and I'm hoping and praying that you do, then Arsenal got to take advantage of it. The one thing Arsenal is a little bit of a weakness in them, the game against Newcastle, I thought in the first 15 minutes we was unbelievable, missed chances. If we get the chances against Tottenham, we've got to take them, you know, and if we do, you know, and that's what we've got to hope for as an Arsenal fans. We can get 1 or 2-0 up, and then the fans turn on the team a little bit, which will happen. Yeah. It will happen if it's Arsenal having a field day there. But listen, I'm going to be really honest. I've gone to Tottenham with better teams than this, and worse teams than what Tottenham have got, and still not bloody won. So it's always a difficult game. You never guarantee what's going to be there. And I do think that Tottenham are good on the counter-attack, and I think that their fans will accept that this game of sitting back and trying to hit us on the break, and we've got to be wary of that. But listen, one of the greatest things about Arsenal this time is that we can push up on the halfway line because we have got Gabriel and Saliba have got that pace to cover it up, like, you know. So it'd be an intriguing game. But this is an opportunity for Arsenal to really stamp their authority, like, you know.
Yeah,
Let me introduce someone. I'm gonna get them in one by one. But the first one, you know, she's always on the terrace. She's got her own platform. You know, a very beautiful woman. You know, great melanin popping as well. Good football knowledge until the point she wants to, you know, talk shit on my team. And then yeah, man, it's just she's doing so well. She actually won. If people don't know this, she won an award at the Content Creation Awards not too long ago in Manchester. So her platform's just going amazingly well. I think it's the road to 20K is on top of that. She'll ride and die for her team. It is what it is. But big up Jess in the building. I know it's a little bit of a different view to you, but it's going to look different on YouTube. You know how it goes. This is OBS. You know, I can do a little thing or two. But how we doing? I know you're just on terrace, probably discussing the exact same thing. I wouldn't be surprised. I know George is in the back at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if George had something to say or a rant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wish I could say all the same things that I said before. I can't remember all of the things I said to George, but I'll try to remember some of them for here as well. Hi, George. It's okay.
He'll be in a second. Don't worry. I'll have to introduce him as well. But George, before I get your partner in, because at the moment it's 3-on-1. But it's like with all of this talk, with Arsenal going on, they're on a great fire at the moment. I think it might be a even bigger fire potentially. I'm gonna reverse the question. I asked earlier, Lee, that do you believe in any of this talk, like from you guys? But do you believe in any of their talk, considering your home form?
I mean, they have a reason to be confident. Let's not get it twisted. They've had a great season so far. But I've said this before, and I think this is the sort of game that we have historically turned up in. It's one that I look forward to, and I think, to be honest, a lot is relying on Son turning up as well, because I think that's where we've been failing a lot this season. Is sort of an over reliance on Kane, and Kane's been phenomenal so far for us, and I think him not having his partner in crime banging the goals alongside him has sort of not helped the team. But having Kulusevski sort of pick up the pieces where Son hasn't necessarily done so this season will be big for us. And look, I'm just looking to survive the first half. We all know so far Spurs in the first half have not been great. We've done better since the restart in the first half, but it's still not been amazing. But yeah, if we can survive the first half, then I've got no reason to see why we can't win. And yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to get somebody else's opinion on this. He had a lot to say on the terrace. You know, I don't think I need to introduce him for like the 10th, 100th time on this channel itself. George, man, apparently you called the Tesco Drake. It is what it is, man. It just means you're just a good-looking guy, innit? You know what I mean? It's just comes with that territory. But you know, you're confident about on Sunday. You know, big up yourself for jumping on as well.
Always. Yeah, you know me, I'm always confident. I'm always going into these games, especially against Arsenal, at home, knowing what the result's going to happen. History's shown Arsenal haven't got a win, once in 10 years, twice in 20. It just doesn't happen that often. And yeah, going into this game, very confident. Form goes out the window, and Kane's looking to break a record. And a man that hungry is a man they're not going to stop.
Jess, I don't believe him, right? You got your whole team riding on Saturday. Apparently, a couple with 4 yellow cards, or a yellow card away from suspension, according to George's logic. I think he's wrong there. Yeah, like, do you think things are going to change?
Well, I have to hope so. You know what I mean? Because, like, if I don't, I'll just be like, okay, we're going to lose the game, right? And I think there's just some teams in some moments that feel more special than others. And this feels like that moment. You know, we have a team that's been playing out of their skin, a team that's been playing way above, I think, any of our expectations. And so I have to believe that this is the time that we'll get something. And that's what I was saying before, is that although I'm not confident 100% on a win, because I know that's super difficult away from home at Tottenham, but I don't think we're going to walk away with 0 points. I think we're going to be smart and make sure that we get something. And that's super important in this title race. So yeah. And in regards to like players on cards, one of them is Saka. Like, I'm not quite sure. I think that he's going to be like on pins and needles trying not to get another yellow card. The only one is really Saliba. And we're going to see what kind of player he really is, you know, on Sunday, because we know he's really talented, but this is going to be away from home, arch nemesis. We know Gabriel and Saliba kind of made some mistakes against Manchester United earlier on in the season. So we'll see if they learn their lesson, but I back them. I think they have, and so I think they'll lock Harry Kane down. He'll get his penalty, but that's it.
But then, Jess, you're saying he's going to get his penalty. Who's going to take him down for that penalty? Likely Saliba, likely one of the centre backs. And when you take him out down for the penalty,
he's a diver. He'll take himself down, and the referee will feel for him and give him a penalty.
When you can guarantee that we're going to be getting a penalty, what we can guarantee is going to be a very, even not dangerous tackle. It's going to be a tackle that's going to be preventing him from scoring a goal. So a red card, as we all know, usually happens in this fixture. It goes one way or the other, and more than likely to the away team. I can see that happening, and it's going to happen to one of those players, especially Saliba, a young player.
Like, a lot of your conversation around this match is banking around us giving you guys a penalty and us also getting a red card.
Penalty, not me.
You think that's the only way that you can win the game. I see.
You guaranteed the penalty, Jess. I didn't. You said it's a guarantee, not me.
It's a guarantee, but I still think we'll get something. That's how confident I am. I know the rest will be on your side, but I still think we'll get something.
Have you seen who the ref is?
Who's the ref?
At this point,
Craig
Pawson.
I wouldn't be shocked if Craig Pawson sent Arteta off with a red card, because the FA is after us. Honestly, they're literally after us. So out of all games,
this guy was upset when we scored the winner against Man City. There is no way he's going to be on our side.
He was upset.
Come on.
He's a Man City fan. Craig Pawson, we know he's a City fan. It's fine. He's from Manchester. Is he not? Am I tripping?
Mate, you know what? You know, when I got to Manchester, yeah, I'm not joking. I'm in the stadium more time or less. I'm always hearing like you scouts, you know, like the swear word and that, like you scouts, like bastard. And I'm thinking like, are all the rest from Liverpool or something? Because that's like something don't go away. Everyone's onto the referee. But Lee, I'm not gonna lie. I've never see your fan base, right? I don't know if you're one of them, but I'm always hearing excuses about the referee. Is it the referee, or is it just riding on bad luck, or you just weren't good enough on the days beforehand? I don't think Arsenal exactly have had the best luck of late.
Listen, we've had a VAR decision at Man United being told that it was wrong. You know what I mean? And that would have been a big game changer. I think there's been a couple of dodgy penalties. Like the penalty at Tottenham last season is never a penalty. You know what I mean? Like it's never a penalty. You know. If that was to go to Arsenal, I'd never see it go away. The West Ham penalty, you know, that's never been done before until, funny enough, Arsenal get it going against them. But I don't think Arsenal have got to get into their heads, and us fans as well. Forget about the referee. Make sure you do your job, and it ain't a problem. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you know, I look at the Southampton game when we drew. We had chances. It was, you know, blatant penalty not given them that day, but we had chances to win that game. We had chances. We missed chances that day. Jesus missed a couple of good chances, and then the game. Then the referee's not an issue. You know, if we blow Tottenham away in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, you know, like, and they get their customary penalty, so what? You know what I mean? It'd be game over. That's what we've got to do, and you've got to go there and not worry about a referee. I don't even care. Do you know when people? I hate that when people put on Twitter, oh, we've got so-and-so as a referee. Let's get this right about referees. They're all useless, right? There's not one decent one out there. So that's how you look at it, like, you know? So I don't really worry about that. Like, if the referee's going to give a dodgy penalty, you know, he will do, and that's something that you have to live with.
Oh, fair play, man. You see that, gal? That's someone that don't make excuses regardless.
I didn't make an excuse. I was just pointing out the fact that I wouldn't be surprised if Arteta got a red card.
I mean, that sounds like a little.
It's not an excuse.
When you be honest about it, when you be honest about these things, I don't give a. Honestly, do not give a flying whatever. Right, that we've been fined for going around like doing that. Like, you know what I mean? Good luck. Like, take our money, and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? I watched the other day Chelsea and Fulham doing exactly the same. Will they get fined? I see Harry Kane does it every single game, like chirping in the ear of a referee. You know, it's one of those things. You can't fine everybody, but they're just looking to fine Arsenal at the moment. And listen, I'll be really honest with you. You know, 4 or 5 players going around a referee is not a good look. It's not a good look. I don't think we should have done that at Oxford. It's not a good look. You know what I mean? So, all right, hold your hands up and get on with it. But at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
George, I ain't asked you this question, right? But are you like, be honest, like right now? I want an honest honest opinion from you.
Stop
Right?
telling me to be honest.
No,
when I'm
no,
always
no,
like
no,
this.
no, no,
And
no, no,
acting like
no,
we haven't been
no,
streaming
no.
together for like a year now, man.
Nah,
So I'm being
nah,
honest.
nah. Be honest.
The
Are
confidence
you
is
not
not
even?
fake.
Nah, I think
I'm
there's a bit
here.
of false confidence. Look,
No, you know what? Ask George what he thinks about Ben White. Let's see if he's honest.
yeah. All right, we'll ask. I'll ask that.
Why have I got to talk about these dead English players? Ben White, that's
Oh,
not even a right
come
back.
on.
He's not even a right back. Don't make it in England's team, but yes, he's having a decent season. Oh wow, what does that do for you? What have we got to talk
All I was gonna ask is
Essentially, what is the league? So,
I
what do
was gonna ask George, are you not even slightly worried about it? Because like from the way your persona is right now, it feels like the thing I had to put on when we had to play Man City at the Etihad. I can't lie. Like, is it a bit false? You know
He's
what I
not
mean?
even looking at the camera.
Yeah,
because again, like I'm genuinely not phased. I'm not phased by this game as much. Yes, look, I am. Of course, I'm going into North London derby. I'm not sitting here just brushing Arsenal off and seeing that they're a bad team or anything like that. We all know how good they've been. We've seen how good that they've been playing football. But again, the history, the results show when Tottenham go to the Emirates, we don't get many wins. But when they come to the lane, it's our home ground, and we show them that it's our home
It's not
ground.
lane anymore.
We don't
It's Tottenham
always
Hotspur Stadium.
have to play the best football, but we get the wins and we get the job done. And I feel like that's just something that's going to continue to happen.
You also
No
got to
matter how
remember that
good this
Arsenal
team keeps being, they're going to lose at the lane. And I see that this team crumbles. I've seen this team crumble. I've seen these young players not show up in big games. And as of recent, people are saying Arsenal's continue to be great. I think Arsenal have shown a few times recently that they've not been that amazing. Against Newcastle, it was a bit shabby. It was against Brighton.
Wait, hold up. One sec. George, let me say
No,
this quick.
one
Not
second.
as
I'm
shabby
literally
as the
about to
Villa.
finish.
team that
Not as
handles
shabby as
you at
Villa.
home?
Let me say. Can I pause you
No,
quickly
Cass,
there?
let me just finish this point.
Go on.
Again, against Brighton, they showed that they could be open up, and some of their defenders are prone to mistakes. So
whooped Brighton,
they've shown
okay?
cracks.
We
They've
whooped
shown
Brighton.
cracks, and yes, Tottenham haven't been great in
Whooped
form, but
them.
you've shown cracks in this amazing team that you've been. We're gonna open those cracks up because our best players play in the positions where you're weakest. So
Yeah. Before we go on to the next point, yo, Jordan in the chat, yo, I get it. You're simping. Pep Triple P, you're simping. There's a couple simps there. Stop doing that. You don't run that shit in this chat. It's never a foul. You know what I'm like with this stuff. Stop doing all that stuff. Just talk football, bro. Yeah, get it. Jess is a good looking girl. Jules is a good looking man. Lee is still looking as young as ever. A girl's ugly, but it is what it is. Like, you don't have to comment on it. Like, just talk football, bro. Like, you know, I don't want to have to remove you from this live itself. Respect it. Respect the panel. It's right there in the pin. Like, honestly. But yeah, I've got a super chat. Sorry to cut. Or go on that little rant. See, sorry. I know it's Jess, your first time on Never a Foul. Big up for coming on, and Lee as well. But I have a zero tolerance policy. And that's that. Keep this chat. Got to keep it booming, man. I don't even want to call you lot out like that. Now, don't say stop it, or mate, you can just leave. Don't worry about it. Honesty here says, hold up, George. Is your shift at the London Museum done? What?
that's because I changed. I had to put on the top, man. I had to, you know. Are you guys gonna be rubbing this badge next season? Are you gonna be rubbing it? Yeah. All right.
Damn, man. I mean, Lee had something to say about George's retro shirt earlier in the backstage. Does it hold any weight? Big up honesty for the super chat. What was you gonna say, Jess? Sorry, before I cut in.
Nothing. Nothing to say to that.
To be fair, I was just saying, like, I think what a lot of people are forgetting as well is that Arsenal had the advantage coming into our game at the end of last season. They were on top of us. They had the chance to get solidify the top four, and they still came and they crumbled. And a lot of them are still the same players. So I think we can't be written off in this game just because they're at the top of the league at the moment.
So do you guys not so because you guys are always talking about how the injury to like Kulusevski and Bentancur has really made a dent in your season. Do you guys not take that the other way and realize that last season when you played us at the back end, we didn't have arguably our most important player in Thomas Partey. We didn't have our number one center back pairing. We had players that had one hamstring. Do you guys not take that in consideration, or is it just when it's us, our injuries are a reason to say that we couldn't win those games? But when it's Arsenal, it's, whatever, because that was not our best 11. People really actually forget that we were like on our knees at that point.
Did Spurs have their best 11 that day as well? Were they missing a few people?
I think they had their best
I
11.
don't remember, to be
I
honest.
think it was, wasn't it? Again, they did have their best 11 out.
They had their best 11. If I don't remember, if I remember correctly, we had Rob Holding.
No Romero. We had to play Sanchez at the back.
No,
that's-
but-
Yeah,
that
that was
tells
like
you
the
everything.
one. Yeah, that was
Yo.
like
But at that time,
Yeah, that's a big difference in our defense, to be honest with you.
But at that time, your record without Romero was not that bad either. Like you guys were
No,
playing,
it was.
you guys were
We had
playing really
a
good in the
really
second
bad
half of the
record.
season. That's my point. You guys are playing really good second half of the season, even without Romero. There, you're still playing well.
But it is at
Yeah,
the
but-
Emirates, though. It is at the Emirates. That's calm. But you lot, I'm not gonna lie, yeah. I think out of this whole Premier League season, I think I've seen the worst performances maybe come from your team alone. But as you said, Jules, look, your team knows how to get over the line. See, what happens here is what I'm kind of worried for Arsenal. If they don't, Lee, you said if they don't come out in the first firing in the first like 10, 15 minutes, Spurs play better in the second half, and that is just statistically facts. And you've seen it against Brentford. We've seen them come back from time to time in a hostile crowd as well. It's going to be, I'm pretty sure you lot all know about it. You've all been to Arsenal, probably North London derby game. Big up Dan, Tottenham Hotspur FC, Dan, youngster, coming all the way from Florida to witness it.
Yeah, big up,
Does
man.
that not worry you? Like, I get it's a different Arsenal, but Tottenham
listen,
team is
we're-
they're not pushovers.
Listen, Tottenham are not pushovers. There's no two ways about that. Like, but I like listening to them all, what they've got to say and things like that. Like, you know, their second half performance, it was great against Villa, wasn't it? It was great against Villa, like, you know what I mean. So it's a myth about that. Their second half performance against Arsenal at the Emirates wasn't great. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't really buy into all of that. Like, you know, Spurs deserve to beat us last season. I don't care about injuries or whatever. They deserve to beat us, and that was it. Like, you know, and when I hear Spurs fans say crumble, we crumbled. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, you know, it's an absolute farce when like you've crumbled more times at the Emirates than anybody. You know what I mean? Like, and I'll be honest with you, not this season, that the season before, with a good team, turned up. Well, didn't turn up. You know what I mean? And not to turn up in the North London derby is a disgrace. But
but it works both
have you not done
ways.
the same
It
thing,
works
though,
both ways in the other.
because
fixture.
you haven't beat us at the Lane in 10 years, so
Well, it's
Yeah,
not
because
about the,
we haven't beaten you at We haven't beaten you at White Hart Lane over the last 10 years because we've not been as good as you. There's a
No,
difference.
definitely
There's a
earlier on.
difference.
Definitely early on, you were.
There's a
You know
difference.
what the
There's a
thing is,
difference.
though?
Listen,
one
listen. You can talk whatever you want, like, you know. I mean, Arsenal, unbeaten in the Premier League, went to Tottenham and didn't win. Right? Does that mean to say
That's
that
my
Tottenham
point.
are a great
No, but
side?
we still won
You
the
know what I
trophy
mean?
that season.
No. My
Yeah,
point
but
is
there's
exactly where you're
there's not a
making
trophy on the
my
line on
point,
this
though,
one.
is that you do not
but we
come to the
clinched
Lane
trophy
and
at
do
that
the
ground.
business.
No, no,
Nothing
but do you know
will
what? Do you know
change.
why
Your
that
best
is? Do you
ever
know
team
what? Do you
couldn't
know why
come to
that
the
is?
Lane
Though?
and
Do
get a
you know
win.
why that is?
That's a great
Why
point.
is that? Why is that? Because Tottenham are a good side. When do you go and beat Man United away? When do you go and beat Liverpool away? When do you go and beat?
And I'm more than
Man
happy
City
to
away?
agree with you.
They're
Lee.
not.
Yeah,
They're not
that's-
easy. They're not
That's why
easy
I'm not as.
places. They're not easy
But Lee,
places to go. They're not
don't
easy
you get-
places to go.
But don't you get, Lee? Our point exactly is that we're not playing at the Emirates this weekend, and that's the big difference.
Of course
We know
it is,
that.
and that's why
If we're
Arsenal
going
got to
into
go
the game
there.
at the
And
Emirates,
Arsenal
I'm not going to be
Arsenal
coming
got to go
here.
there and exactly
Of
that.
course,
And Arsenal.
I wouldn't be having the
Ars-
same confidence going into the game at the
the problem
Emirates.
is, the problem is,
Listen, I'll argue with it all day. Arsenal, we go to. I don't care what anybody says. You know what I mean? Arsenal go to Tottenham on Sunday, the better team. That hasn't happened for a very, very long while. Very, very long while. Right? It hasn't happened for a very long while. And one of the reasons is that we don't win there because you've been a better team, as it is at the Emirates. There's not a lot of difference between Arsenal and Spurs, and that's why home advantage is massive. It is believe me or not, like, you know, if we was playing Tottenham Hotspur at the Emirates on Sunday, I'll be licking my lips. I wouldn't be worried about it, like, you know. But I am worried about it because of the simple fact is Tottenham are a decent side, and you got like it's a hostile place to go, so and it's not easy to win. So when you win there, you've got to be at your very, very best. Hopefully, Arsenal will be. But at the end of the day, there's no guarantee, even if they do play really, really well there, that you can come away with a defeat. That is it, you know what I mean? Like, and that's why I think there's a little bit more respect from Arsenal's point of view, because I never go to Tottenham going, oh, we're going to win 3-0, we're going to win here, we're going to win there. Every single season, Tottenham come to the Emirates, they go, oh, we're winning here 3-4-0. They get slapped every single time, and that is because it's a very, very difficult place to go to. I've got no illusions on Sunday. If we don't turn up on Sunday, I don't care how bad Spurs have been, we will find it very, very difficult. But if we turn up and play our A game, I think we'll be all right. And that's the difference between the two teams at this moment in time.
Let me
Yeah,
just jump off what he said.
go
I
on.
fully agree with you there. And I don't think anyone here from the Arsenal side, saying we're going to wipe the floor with Tottenham. We're just saying we respect the way that we've been playing. And I look over to my opposition and I'm saying, you guys don't look like you're very well organized. You guys don't look very well defensively. You guys don't look that good when you're playing against lesser opposition. So when you face us, I'm not expecting it to be the same performance against Crystal Palace, as Jess said, or I'm not expecting it to be the same performance against some of these other teams that you've had against you guys at home this season. And let's be honest, Newcastle beat you, Aston Villa beat you, and some of these teams that are beating you in your own ground, they're not that much. We're way better than them. So why shouldn't I have a little bit more confidence that we'll be able to come there and get something out of this game, and be it either 1 point or 3 points? I honestly do believe it's going to be small margins between us because it's a derby, and there's going to be a lot going on there. But the mental edge goes to Arsenal. We're going into this game more confident. We're going into this game in a better situation. We're going to this game top of the league. We're going to this game more confident than we've ever been going into a derby. And Tottenham look more fragile than we've seen them in years.
One of the greatest points you make there, and this is a key point, and Newcastle went to Tottenham and won, right? Newcastle come to the Emirates with no ambition to attack. They knew that if they went toe to toe with Arsenal, they'd probably get beat. So they defended and defended and defended. Against Tottenham, they felt that they could attack them, and that to me
That's
tells
not
you
actually right though, Lee.
I
because
disagree,
They caught
'cause
us on the counter a few times.
Perfect.
That's how
they were
scored their
very
goals.
defensive
They never
against
got,
us.
they went through. They never got. They had one.
They were not.
One
They
shot
ran you
against
guys. They
No,
ran
I'm
you
sorry. I'm
down.
sorry. You
Nah,
guys,
they're playing
you guys
very
watched the
low block.
highlights, you
Yo,
didn't watch the game.
let's
You
relax.
dominated
Let's
them.
You play a low block when you guys are playing a low block in your own
let's
middle.
calm it down. Just relax.
We struggle to play
and
against
play the
teams that
game.
defend and have a low block, and they were very defensive that day and hit us on the counter. I'll be honest with you. Arsenal, I think you have to score I think you have to score early on to sort of silence the crowd, sort of take any energy that is.
You're distinctly average, but that is a compliment.
Anyways, I've got a couple super chats. I think George will be back in a sec. He said, honesty says here, let's say Spurs win and City win. Will this
Sorry, my
shift the
thing cut off
moment?
for a second.
Nice, calm. Sorry to cut you then. I just thought it was a little good segue to do this. He said, let's
Yeah,
say
yeah.
Spurs. So honestly saying, if Spurs and City win, then George, will this shift the momentum? And even City ain't playing great. A win in a derby can change everything. Spurs play well against City, and that's facts. You somehow beat Arsenal. I don't say somehow, you can, right? Then you beat, somehow you go and do the job again against City. Now, the whole equation has changed.
We're playing away against City in that first game. We wouldn't be so confident in that away game at the Etihad. That's the first game we got. We got them again 2 weeks at home, but that first one, I wouldn't be so confident of.
Damn. You agree with that?
It's an away game. We've beat them out at Etihad last season, but
Normally we don't. Yeah.
Most teams don't win at the Etihad. I mean, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got
You
another.
see, you
I've
guys
got
been
another.
playing for it before.
George,
Are you guys playing for anything? Like, do you guys?
You're not
care?
going to win at the Etihad either. You don't. So what are we on about? I'm just being realistic.
you
No,
know what?
I'm asking you, what is your season about? Like, you guys are like, well, we're going to do this, we're not going to do that. Like, what do you guys? Are you guys even
It's
fighting?
always been top 4, and we got a good chance of the FA Cup to be fair, given the fixtures. But
Mm. Honestly says here, PS, we as Liverpool fans are unbearable when we won the league. Imagine Arsenal fans if they win a league. We can't have that again.
can't let it happen.
Well, you guys are finished. If we win the league, you're not going to get a day's rest. Okay, like
I'm retiring if we.
You know what? It will hurt Spurs fans the most, but before Chelsea, Man United, Man City, it will also hurt Liverpool because we basically replaced them this season, sadly. So
let's not talk about Liverpool, man.
We've
That's
got Champions
stinky
League
club, man.
I mean,
no.
I don't think they're going to be worried about your one league title.
Based on this season, the two teams out of the top 4 that don't finish in the top 4, or if Newcastle don't finish there,
You do know that Liverpool can still get Champions League finishing 5th, right?
I don't think Liverpool are going to win.
Is it this season or doesn't it
It's
happen
this
next
season.
season?
It's this season, I believe.
It's 5th.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they can finish 5th. It's the coefficient, isn't it?
I think it's the 2023-2024 season.
Is when it
The
starts.
5th is opened up for the 2024-2025 season to qualify.
Yeah.
It's not this season. It's only 4.
You know what? Regardless, Arsenal fans will always be unbearable. That's the reality. We're gonna.
This is true. This is very true.
Actually, I've got realities for both
We
of you.
were losing.
Both your fan bases are
We're
unbearable.
still pissing everyone off. So somehow.
Spurs fans are unbearable when they win a game. Imagine what it's like when they win a cup.
Oh, we're not. You can't talk about us on any level
Whoa.
compared to you guys.
Yeah.
The reality is we're a way bigger fan base, so of course we'd be more annoyed.
Yo,
you know,
Jess is
also-
coming with shots.
Also,
The thing is, Arsenal are unbearable, and all you guys are talking about is like all these things that Arsenal doing. You guys make one signing, and all of a sudden he's the best thing since sliced bread. Like, I really don't get it. Arsenal fans are the most unbearable fan base in the world of football. And literally, we make these shows are all created because of how bad and how unbearable Arsenal fans
George,
are.
let me ask you a question. How many flop signings have you made since 2019? You shouldn't be talking.
Wait, I don't get it because we can
What do you
talk
mean?
about
The whole
flop signings all
of
day with Arsenal.
2022, innit?
Like-
What's the turnover on Pepe? I'm actually going for next year.
Name another player.
That's like only one.
5 million per goal, maybe.
Literally, but
George,
beyond Pepe, we've been
since
pretty good.
2019, name a player we spent more than 20 million on this flop.
I don't know all your signings, Egal. So how are you going to expect me to?
you
I don't know
do.
how
And since 2019, we
Why
still
do I
finished
know
on
how
top of you
much
guys.
you
So
players
it's,
for?
No, but
You
you
know who
can't
we
name
got.
one. That's why what I'm showing you is you guys have been spending your money badly. We're spending our money well. So if you're going to make fun of our signings, I expect that because you're spending our money well.
but we also
6
did. We
million
also
per
didn't make a signing for a year and a half and still finished above you guys. So it doesn't really
No,
mean
but
too
that's
much.
also
Not a
because
trophy, y'all.
that's not
Finishing above us is not a trophy, okay?
You
Sorry
You're
to
the ones that
say.
are bringing it up. That's
Hey,
what
wait,
I'm
George,
not
saying.
even about
wait,
that. It's
George,
not even about
It's funny they do this all the time, but all
All
they're
the
talking
time.
about is how
George,
you're
George,
literally only thing you're going to
George,
get this season. is
George,
We have
Can I
never
ask-
mentioned
can I
anything
ask-
to do with trophies or
Can I ask you
anything.
guys? Let me start with George. George,
You
genuine
can't
question.
mention trophies because you don't have
If you
any.
guys- If you guys were in the top 4 and Arsenal were 5th, you'd be having a much better season right now, and you wouldn't be complaining as much.
They're halfway through the season, Egal, man.
One second,
Barely.
I really
One
ain't
second,
so.
one second.
I
One second. I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about Tottenham. If Tottenham right now were in the exact same position, but Arsenal were below you in the league, would you not be a lot better mentally as a fan base?
Egal, we got top 4 by literally saving our season in the last 10 or 15. Not even 10, probably last
besides
10
the
or 8
point.
games.
My
Yeah.
point
No,
is-
because
my
Egal,
point
you're so
my point
cooped up
is-
on the top 4 race. Because the title race right now is very important.
I
The
didn't even
games
bring up
the games are a
title
lot more
race.
big. Let's get something
Bro,
clear.
let me
The
ask
top
George a
4
question.
race.
Why are you cutting in? Okay, George.
Oh
bro.
shit!
I know
Oh,
what-
I can't lie.
Nah.
I don't know if you're saying George or George.
Yeah,
bro.
neither can I
Bro,
half the
I
time.
meant-
I'm guessing
I meant-
50-50.
different.
Okay, my bad.
Oh man.
Say G for me or something. I don't know.
I already know George is very in defense mode, but I'm asking you this: do you think your fan base would be a lot more content with 4th place if Arsenal were 5th? Based on the fact that we're 1st right now, it makes you guys a little bit more like questioning your club's decisions.
No, because we're not even 4th at the moment, so that's the difference.
No, but that's what I mean. If you guys were in 4th right now and Arsenal were 5th, wouldn't you guys be mentally in a better state as a fan base?
I don't think it makes a difference because we've never been about being anywhere near the title anyway. So, do I want to see you up there? No, but it's not going to affect how I feel about us getting top 4. Right now, we've got to make sure that we are going to end up playing better so that we can get the top 4. That's all I really care about at the moment. We'll see when there's 10 games left as to what the situation is with the title. But right now,
You're
that's not in
forgetting
my mind.
about one thing as well, though, man. It's like
We're gonna do it anyway.
they're gonna be shameless anyways, bro. It don't matter what happens with any of this sort of stuff. But all I know is Sunday.
It is D-Day.
You know what I mean? Like it's just it is what it is. I think we've got about 5 minutes left max. I would say, like before I get onto any sort of predictions and that. Has anyone else got anything shameless to say? Because
You know, I just want to make that point, and it is
on.
a good point. Like when Spurs are above us, of course, you know what I mean. It aggravates you because you're thinking, well, why are they doing that and doing this and doing that? Obviously, like you know, Spurs fans are a little bit more stressed because Arsenal are where they are because they think that they should be where that is. That's just natural. I think you know we're the same when Tottenham are above us. Look, I'm going to be really honest. We don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, but we've had to deal with it for the last few years. You know what I mean? And it's not nice. You know, I'd hate to deal with it for 18 years and winning titles and things like that. It must be tough. You know what I mean? Like for Spurs fans from that point of view. So listen, of course it hurts, and it hurts Tottenham that you know listen. They won the transfer window in the summer, and they're moaning that by January that they've not got their right signings and everything like that. They expected to be challenging for the title. They didn't expect Arsenal to be challenging for the title. And because Arsenal are, it does put a little bit more pressure and a little bit more, the fans go a little bit more mad. Listen, I remember when Tottenham were winning the game and I'm thinking, how comes they're better than us at this minute? And they was in a little stadium when we was in this massive stadium. Of course it grinds on you. Of course it does. You know what it is? It's rivalry. And that's what it is. It's rivalry. And listen, we can't live without you. We can't live with you. It's just the way it is. Arsenal and Spurs are a big rivalry, and it's fantastic. Like, and I love seeing Tottenham fans having a meltdown, and Tottenham fans love seeing Arsenal having a meltdown. And it's just the way it is, guys. It's the way it is.
So it's just so George, you're not scared. George, you're not scared of Arsenal this Sunday at all. I think you lot are forgetting one thing as well. They got a main man up top.
They have no main man.
Your defense is in trouble. Can't you know?
You know what I'm saying?
Come on!
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, you're in trouble right now. The man is on form at the moment. 100k a week, don't matter what his wage is. He's number 14. That 14 might be there. Do you want me to run it back?
Your defense is in trouble. Can't you know?
That's what I'm saying.
I love that.
I
Song.
think they have to worry about Harry Kane first. This guy's vintage North London derby, and he's got 100% gunning for that record this weekend as well. So
Yeah.
2 goals minimum.
You know, one thing we haven't spoken about, the managers. I feel like it's going to come down to who outsmart who, because at the end of the day, we are talking about Tottenham, who have been in a bad patch, and we're talking about an Arsenal team being in a good situation. If Antonio Conte is on his A day and he finds a way to outsmart Mikel Arteta on the day, Tottenham's going to win. And if Arsenal find a way to, if Mikel Arteta finds a way or some sort of tactic that can get Tottenham off their game and find them in a similar situation to how they played against Newcastle or Aston Villa, and we get an early lead and we hold on to it, boom, we're winning the game. So in my opinion, the manager's talking about it.
I think this game is so straightforward. I mean, George tried to say that, Conte would force us into playing with the ball and pressing. That's our system. Like, you're not going to force us into doing it. You know what I mean? And I think it's so obvious what's going to happen. We're going to start off quickly. We're going to play like the home team at your place up on the halfway line, and you guys are going to sit back.
Yeah.
And then you guys are trying to sit us
I
on
just think Spurs, but when you know what's mad, yeah,
that's when you guys go wrong.
Go on.
Because you're literally playing into how we want you to play. You're going to play that high
But
press.
We struggle against any team that plays a low block. Any team.
Let me just finish this one part though. You guys always say like we're playing into your hands. We're playing into your hands. Good teams don't change the entire way that they play for like one team. We're going to try to do plan A perfectly, and plan A perfectly can still beat you because our defending will just have to be better than it was against Manchester United, who are better than you. So I think that it's just a matter of that. We're not going to change the way that we play. We're not going to sit back. That's not how it's going to go. We just have to be perfect.
I don't think that you need to sit back either. But again, what you're not getting is that the way that you guys play, the teams that you guys talk about Tottenham being bad against, the teams that play low blocks, they're teams that they force Tottenham to play. And once you give Tottenham loads of the ball, that's where you start seeing us crack and we start seeing the lack of creativity. But when you have teams that play a high press, teams that are going to force us into the back of our half, and then we're going to play on the counter, like you said, you've got the young players like Saliba. We've got the bursting attack of Kane, Son, and Kulu, players that you just won't be able to stop.
Why does Man City change their game?
Kulusevski 1v1 is a nightmare for most players.
Why does Man City not change their game against you? Because good teams don't care. They do.
But we beat Man City. But we beat Man City when they played that way. That's the whole point.
We beat them twice last season playing that way.
But Man City, how many times have Man City won the league, even though you guys beat them away from home?
Wait, how
I don't understand the point.
The reason, okay, so let me finish. Let me finish because you guys keep cutting me off because you're like, but we beat them. It doesn't matter. Good teams are going to play their way no matter what. So, of course, we're going to play a high line. You guys are going to think that you can come in and play on the counter. It's not going to change. You're not making us play that way. And we're not playing.
But no one's ever saying. No one's not saying that we're making you play that way. We're saying that the teams. We're saying the teams that played.
George did say that.
The teams that play the way you play, like Man City.
Agree with what
you guys
is saying, which is right. But what it is our strength is Tottenham's. It is going to be our weakness as well because that's Tottenham's strength is to hit us on the counter.
Yeah, you're going to have to capitalise.
That's the way we are going to play that way, and that's how it's going to be. You know what I mean? Can Tottenham get us on the counter attack?
We're not bad on the counter. Defensively, we've been solid.
No, we're not as bad as what we have been in the past. I make you right. You know what I mean? Like because we're more of a defensive side now. But that's the way it's going to go. You know, I don't care what anybody says. Tottenham are a very, very good counter-attacking side. That's why they beat Manchester City last season. Not because they're better than them. It's that they're a better counter-attacking side. And you know, you have to ride your luck a little bit. They did that and got the result. But you have to give Tottenham credit going into last season in the top four. They went to Liverpool and should have probably won that game. You know what I mean? Like, but and I agree. Then they come against Burnley at home And you know, if it wasn't for a penalty, it was never be a penalty. They'd have dropped points that day. Why? Because
But
Burnley
Lee,
had no ambitions of
this
attacking.
this game, if they win against us, will be the first top 6 match that they would have won this season.
This
home.
season, Egal. But again, like
Okay,
even when you
is it
guys
at
are talking
home
about
or
how
total? You
again,
never
wait,
won
Egal,
any
even when you mention how good your defense has been, you seem to forget that even though Tottenham have been bad, we've been the 3rd highest goal scoring team in the Premier League. Our attack hasn't stopped flourishing.
Yeah,
We
that's
haven't
great.
stopped scoring goals.
We've had a lot
We
of
have
problems in
27
defense.
goals in the
That's
second
the main
half of the
issue.
Premier League this season. Like
No, but you've
our
had
attack
players
is
that are
still
home.
firing, and you're still coming up against one of the best attacks in the league, whether you like it or not. And we've chopped
You're
and
coming
changed
up
all
against
season.
one of the best
And
defenses
we've
in the
only
league.
had Kane's firing most of the time. Son hasn't even turned up. Kulu's been injured half the season, like you said, Jess. So with Son not even showing up, Kulu injured half the season, we're still one of the best attacking teams in the league. We're 3 goals behind what
Bro,
you've scored.
we
So our
have
attack has been just as good.
we have Eddie and Ketia up top.
Then why are you not right behind us in the league? Why are you guys 11 points
We have
behind us?
defensive issues. We're talking
So
about
then,
the
and then
attack
and
again,
there you
Jess,
go,
like,
and you're coming
deflection.
up against you're coming up against a better attack than yours. So
It's
don't
not.
say
There's
you're
no
like
chance
the
you've got a
only
better
team
attack
that
than
has
us. That's
something. You're
nonsense.
not.
That's
So let me
nonsense.
You're not.
let me
I'm
just
sorry. And we've had Nketiah over the last couple of days.
I was
Nketiah's
just
in the
gonna say
room.
that.
Okay.
let me just
That's
round
it.
this. Let me just round this off as well. Yeah, I can hear you guys probably talk smack to each other all night, but I've got my own derby to deal with tomorrow. I've got to go to Manchester. I've got to be on my train in the next 45 minutes, and I've got a shower and everything. And I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Not the point. Not the point. Guys, if you're in here, make sure you're smashing the like button. And because I say smash the like button doesn't mean ignore me. It literally just means go smash the like button and stop being a lazy ass. I know there's about 50, 60 of you that haven't done so. Underneath, you can see all these guys' channels. They gave up their time on a Friday of all times as well. Friday night to come and talk to you and obviously amongst each other. So if you don't mind, go check their socials out. Go check everything out. In their boxes, you can see their Twitter ats or their Instagram ats, and down below, the channels are all there, rather in the title, in the description. When you press more, you'll see everything there. You've got Gal, Lee, Jess, George, and Jords. I put Jords' Twitter down. He doesn't have his own channel just yet. I don't know why. Most delusional Spurs fan out there, bar Patrick. But it is what it is. I'm gonna have to round this off with some predictions. You know, so I'm gonna have to start off in the red corner, I believe. I'm gonna start with Jess. How are we feeling?
Yeah, I'm gonna be shameless and go with the 2-1 win.
That's not
You know.
shameless. I think that's more than respectable.
Yeah.
I think so. You could have said 3-0. I mean, Lee said he would never put 3-0 on the Spurs, Spurs game. Has that changed?
Hey, no, I'm with Jess on that. I think it'd be a very, very tight game, but I just think we nick it 2-1.
Nick it 2-1. George?
I've always said 2-1, Kane bagging 2 goals. He's going for that, going for the record.
What is that, including the penalty?
Of course.
He's got to gear himself up because he's coming to Man United at the end of the season anyways. It's fine.
You wish.
I think I'm going to go back to the red corner in a Gal before I leave George till last. So, a Gal, come on, man. Don't be, you know what?
Listen.
Actually, just be a Gal. You know what?
Unfortunately, these games are always tight. So Tottenham's gonna get their penalty. Arsenal's gonna probably win the game 2-1.
Do you reckon the red card might be in the? So there's
You know
probably a red
what?
card in there somewhere.
The only red card I can see, Arteta. You guys know these refs are after us, man. Anyways.
Yeah. Last but not least, George. I didn't actually catch your prediction, obviously, on the terrace, but is it changed?
Can I just say that it's pathetic that they're already complaining about the refs before the game started? It's generally pathetic. Like,
It's
Oh,
not
last
fair.
little
But
punch.
we're complaining about the refs, but we're
Last
still
little punch.
predicting wins. Hello.
but my prediction
The
is a 2-1
referee
Spurs win,
of Latin
exactly the same
manager
as
doesn't
George.
affect anything.
Kane has got some records to break, and Arsenal are not stopping him.
Did you say 2-1? I think George said 2-0.
2-1.
2-1
No,
as well.
2-1,
So you
2-1,
all
2-1.
think you're going to
2-1,
all
yeah.
win 2-1.
Yeah.
I hope for
That's the
draw.
start in the fixture as well.
I'm
isn't
going to
it?
hope for a draw. I'm going to go 2-2. I think I want that. If not, if we beat City, I
Is
can't
that
lie,
more
I
hope
need-
talking from you? Or?
I don't care. You know what? If my team win, we're sitting tomorrow. Yeah. If we're sitting comfortable, it don't matter who wins. I don't really care who wins. We're either further away from a team that's trying to get top 4, or going to be closer to a team that's meant to be challenging. So, win-win situation potentially. But guys, big up obviously for coming on. Big up for everyone in the comments. As I said, make sure you check all these guys down below, girls and guys, should I say? Sorry about that. And unless you identify as like non-binary and all that stuff, my bad. You never know. You never know. But has anyone else got anything to say before I wrap it?
What was your score prediction again?
I'm gonna say 2-2.
Okay, that's fair.
Sitting on the fence.
Yeah, have to. You got. This is not logical. If I'm gonna talk logic, I think Tottenham win this then, because it's just a home thing, man. I'll be honest. But yeah, guys, make sure you catch us tomorrow at some point. I've got something special coming up when City do lose. Daps will be recording his reaction, so watch out for that. Yeah, it might be a meltdown, or it might be me on a meltdown. Who knows? That's not happening. I believe in my manager. It's not happening. But in a bit.